Okay, right, I have been getting some good mileage in these bad boys, the Prodigio Pro from La Sportiva, but I thought it was about time I did a long run test. So that is exactly what we're going to be doing today. We got some great weather conditions outside, so I thought I'd make the most of them, get some good training in my legs and bring you guys along on the run. I also thought it'd be a great opportunity to answer some of the popular questions we're getting at the moment at Run4Adventure, but also tell you a bit about the exciting stuff going on behind the scenes. So let's go and get out in the sunshine and let's get running. Okay, so we have made it to the start of the trails after around about a mile of road, and the route we've got planned for today's long run test is we're going to be heading across the towns and we're aiming for Godrevy Lighthouse where the seals are. And I think this will be the perfect route for today's long run because we've got a good mix of terrain. So we've already had a bit of tarmac. We're going to have lots of soft sand, obviously, because we're going across the towns, some gravelly trails and some compacted pathways, but nothing overly technical because over the testing period, I would say the Prodigio Pro maybe isn't the most stable of trail shoes on the more technical stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not like the worst, most unstable trail shoe I've ever run in, but it does struggle because you do lose a bit of ground feel and connection because of the depth of cushioning in that midsole. So today's route should be perfect for the shoe. And like I said, we're going to answer some of your questions as we make our way around. The other good news is we have a spectacular day today, and the Towers and the sea and the coastline is looking spectacular. So it's definitely sunglasses on today. But the first question is, I've had this several times over the last week, am I going to be testing out the new Nike trail shoes? So the Wild Horse 10 and the Terra Kyger 10. Well, I am happy to say they actually arrived literally 5 minutes before I headed out the door today. So we have both of those shoes. Obviously, we're pretty busy at the channel, but we're going to try and get to them as soon as possible. So keep your eyes peeled. There should be a first impressions video of the two new Nike trail shoes on the channel soon. And while we're talking about shoes, I've also been asked a couple of times over the last week, am I going to be getting hold of a pair of the new Saucony Xodus Ultra 4s? Well, as soon as they release in the UK, hopefully I'll have a pair. I think they're due to come out around June time, so soon. We're not going to have to wait long. If you're new to the channel, then you might not know that I've got a big history with that trail shoe, and I actually took the original Xodus Ultras out of the box, and the first run I did 80 miles in Endure 24. I had no issues, no blisters, nothing like that. The shoe felt super comfy, and I've been a big fan ever since. When it got updated to the Xodus Ultra 2, again, it was only a subtle update. I really enjoyed that shoe, but I did find the 3s a little bit disappointing. So I've got all my fingers and toes crossed that the things I didn't really get on with in the 3s have been improved in the 4s, and they're going to run a bit more like the original Xodus Ultra, which was a great shoe. So yep, I will be testing them out soon, and hopefully we'll have a pair in our hands at the channel, maybe at the beginning of June, but we'll see. But anyway, that's enough questions for now. Let's get running, let's get the legs moving, let's get warmed up, and let's see how this run goes. Okay, so the watch has just ticked past 5 miles. I suppose we should talk about the shoe. That's what we're out here doing, testing it on a long run. So the first thing I'll say is, with today's run so far, 5 miles, I've probably run 50 miles in them, and I'm still really enjoying the fit, feel and performance of the Prodigio Pro. Speaking of fit, after that initial run, I wasn't sure whether going up half a size to a UK 10 was the right thing to do. That's what I tend to do in a La Sportiva shoe, but I wasn't sure whether I should have gone up a full size, but now I've run some good mileage, it was definitely the right call, and going up to that UK 10 is perfect. Just the right length, and I've got good width in the toe box, nice secure mid-foot lockdown, and really good hold in the heel. The one thing I would say, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in the first impressions, is that, you know, this isn't a wide shoe, but also it's pretty shallow at the midfoot. It's very fitted with that booty style upper. So if you add any width or depth to your foot, then I think you might struggle with the fit of the Prodigio Pro. And I think it works best for sort of medium to narrow foot shapes. So far so good when it comes to the testing period, but today's long run will be a real thorough test because I'm going to hopefully get in about 14 miles today, and that'll be the longest run today in the Prodigio Pro. So let's crack on, let's get those miles done. Okie dokie, so we have reached the turning point, and this camera's wonky. Let me sort that out for you. That's better, a bit more level. So yeah, we've reached a turning point, 8.1 miles into the run, and we're up at the trig point just past Godrivi. So epic views behind the camera. You can see right across to St Ives, looking glorious in the sunshine. 3 miles of golden sands down in Hale, and obviously Godrivi Lighthouse in the background. So an epic view from up at this trig point. The Prodigio Pros are still running well, and like I thought, this is the perfect route. It's super dry out here today. The trails are very compacted, quite stony, quite rocky in places, and you know, the comfort from this midsole is top notch. Super comfy cushioning, feels like it's giving me good levels of energy return and underfoot protection. You know, it really does soak up this type of trails really well. I'm also testing out a new hydration vest on this run. So it's from Kailas, it's their new Air 8 hydration vest. I've always really enjoyed running in their hydration vests. All the ones that I've tested on the channel have performed really well. This has got a few nice updates, so lots of accessible storage again, but it also comes with a nice substantial pole quiver that can be attached to the back, and I think that's the first time that the brand have actually offered that system. Feels really comfy on. We've obviously got the BOA adjustment system on the front that I think works really well. We'll get a few more runs in the vest, test it out a bit more thoroughly, and then we'll have a full in-depth review on the channel. And also, just before I start running back to home, another question that you guys have been asking. So if you follow us on our other social media pages, you'll see that I actually put Adventure Bus 2.0, our beloved Adventure Bus 2.0, up for sale. I'm happy to say that we sold it the other day. I thought it would go quick because it's a great little van ready for any adventures you want to take it on. And you've been asking, is there a new Adventure Bus coming? Well, I'm happy to say there definitely is, and we're really excited about it. We can't wait to tell you all about what we've been working really hard on over the last 6 or 7 months. So watch this space. There'll be more news coming soon about a new adventure bus on the channel. So lots of exciting things going on at the channel, but let's get these legs moving again before they stiffen up. Let's get back to the studio. The good news is it's pretty much downhill all the way home with some epic views.
I know
Okie dokie, so we are back to where we started the run from, just coming up to 14 miles, so it's going to be close to 15 miles by the time we get home. Great run, shoes have felt good, body's felt good, the hydration vest has performed well, so big thumbs up from me. But let's get back to the studio. We'll wrap up with a conclusion on how the Prodigio Pro has performed on this long run, and we got one more question to answer, but let's get back to the studio. Right, 14.62 miles in the legs by the time I got home, so a pretty solid training effort, and I'm actually running the KVK tomorrow. So you're probably watching this video on a Sunday evening, so the race was on Saturday, so I've already run it, but it's going to be interesting out there. Not sure my legs are going to thank me for today's efforts when I'm going up some of those steep hills in the race, that's for sure, but should be a good day out, always is, a fantastic event. And the good news is I'm actually doing it as a teamed race, so I'm pairing up with Liga, so I've only got one loop to run, so around 7.5 miles with 500 meters of elevation. So it's going to be a nice tough training run on tired legs. I am happy to say that the Prodigio Pro continues to impress, and it was no issues for the shoe today on all those different types of terrain. I really am a big fan of how this X-Flow Speed TPU supercritical foam feels in the midsole. It's nicely cushioned, offers you a nice comfortable ride underfoot even on the short sections of tarmac I had to cover, and it still feels nice and responsive, and you do feel like you're getting a lot of energy return as well. So it does give the Prodigio Pro that sort of efficient, fun feel. For my foot shape, this upper fits just right, you know, it really does feel super secure, and in fact to the point where I reckon I could take the laces out of the Prodigio Pro and still run them and have no issues at all. So a great foot hugging lockdown around my midfoot, a really good hold in the heel, and I also like how La Sportiva worked in these sort of ribs of padding in the tongue area, because it does add a nice level of comfort to the upper. You can see from the footage there that it was super dry out on the trails, making them quite loose, and obviously I ran a lot of soft sand and quite a few sort of gravelly, stony trails as well. And the outsole on the Prodigio Pro offered me good levels of grip and traction, and in fact I've always gotten well with the La Sportiva outsoles. They tend to offer, you know, good performance out on the trails, and the Prodigio Pro has actually got their friction white outsole, so this is their grippiest rubber compound to date. But I would say I have got a little bit of wear on the lugs on the outside of the heel there, and I've done about 60 miles in the shoe. I wouldn't say I've run a lot of tarmac in them. A couple of the runs I've had to do a bit of road to get to the trails like today, but I definitely haven't run a lot. So when it comes to outsole durability, I'm not fully convinced at the moment. But I am definitely convinced by every other aspect of this trail shoe, and I actually think La Sportiva have done a great job when it comes to the Prodigio Pro, especially when you take into consideration it's quite a different type of trail running shoe for the brand. I've actually got a couple of races coming up soon, and I wouldn't be surprised if these are on my feet when I'm running them. And also keep your eyes peeled, because we'll definitely be doing a head-to-head video featuring the Prodigio Pro against the VJ Ultra 3s, because I actually think they're very similar trail shoes when it comes to fit, feel and performance. But for me personally, there is one that performs just slightly better than the other. And then wrapping up today's video with the last question, and with the Serpent Trail rapidly approaching, I've been asked by a few of you guys, am I going to be running the 100k this year? And it's a pretty simple answer, and it is no. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be running in 100k, but we are definitely going to the event. You know, it's one of our highlights of the year. We love going up country, going to the Serpent Trail and camping over the weekend. And you know, it's always good to go up, have a relaxing weekend. We'll do a distance of some sort. We're not sure yet. We're going to be taking the Run4Adventure merch stand up again. That seemed really positive last year, and it's just nice to go up, meet loads of our wonderful viewers, catch up with old friends and cheer lots of runners across the finishing line. I think that sounds like a much more enjoyable weekend than maybe going up, running 100k, suffering a bit and then having to recover. So if you are running the event this year, then can't wait to catch up with you up there at the Serpent Trail. And if you do see us walking around or at the merch stand, please come over and say hello, because it's always great to put faces to names. So there you have it, folks. The Prodigio Pro continues to impress me with its fit, feel and performance. Really hope you've enjoyed the video. Really hope you found it helpful. If you have, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, as it really is a big help to the channel. If you've got any questions about the Prodigio Pro, please feel free to get them in the comments below and I'll try and get back to them as soon as possible. But until next time, guys, thanks for supporting the channel. It's always appreciated. We'll be back here soon. And as always, stay safe and keep on running. A pretty solid training effort today, and I'm actually running the KVK tomorrow. So I've only got one loop to run, so about 7.5 miles with 500 meters of elevation. Like I said, it might be a bit of a struggle, but it's definitely be good. I got my fingers crossed that the things I didn't really get on in the 3 have been improved and they run a little bit